I was actually 27 years old when I decided to join the Army National Guard. It had been on my mind for quite a while that any person with a medical education is a far more effective person to just have around. I was attached to an infantry group in Detroit Lakes and Bemidji. So a bunch of good old boys from up north. When we finally got our orders, we found out that we were going to be attached to a Marine Corps division, and we were going to be in the Al-Anbar province. March 23rd, 2007. I'd been in Iraq for almost a full year at this point. I remembered getting in the truck that morning and pulling out to the gate. Greg Rewer was driving, and that was an uncommon thing for him because he was a sergeant, so he was normally a TC. But because we had our lieutenant in there, he was going to drive instead. We were wrapping up the mission. We were driving on the way back that the up-armored Humvee that I was in was hit by a command-detonated roadside bomb. The bomb went off underneath the truck, and it picked the truck up 25 to 30 feet in the air. It landed upside down on its roof, like near the shoulder of the road. It tore the doors off of the driver's side door and my door. And Greg, who was driving at that time, and myself were both ejected out. Jeff Anderson, he was in the truck behind us, and as they were slowly, cautiously approaching the vehicle, he saw Greg and myself in the road. Greg had sustained injuries that no human would be able to survive, and he saw me and said that he thought that I was dead. And before he breaks out into a run to go to the truck, he takes a moment and kicks me in the general groin area. And I groaned, I moaned, and I guess I didn't sound real happy about what had just happened, but he did get the sign of life. He said, "Mason, Vic, Mark, get on Kuboy. I'm going to go over to the truck." And then Mason and Vic Mark came over and provided excellent, first aid. I woke up in Longstuhl, Germany. I opened up my eyes. I was confused. I did not know where I was. I didn't know where I was supposed to be. I then thought to myself, I think that I'm supposed to be in Iraq, and I'm pretty sure this ain't it. I saw a couple of doctors, and I saw my dad standing behind him, and I thought, yep, I'm not in Iraq. I figured out that I was roughed up. I was pretty injured. The most significant one was to my right foot. Most of the metatarsals were broken. I had a couple of the metatarsals in my left foot broken. Both of my lower legs were broken. I had an open fracture of my left ulna. I broke my jaw in 8 places. I fractured 9 teeth. I was diagnosed with a mild to moderate traumatic brain injury, and they stuck PTSD in there for, because it made sense, I guess. I landed at the Washington, D.C. airport. That was the first time that I had cried for a long time. And the feelings that were behind that were the fact that I was so extremely grateful to be back on American soil. And that was contrasted with the emotions of the thoughts about the guys who weren't going to be coming back. My brother was a huge part of my recovery. He would normally come to my hospital room at about 10 o'clock in the morning just to check on me and see how I'm doing. And it must have been during a week where I had just had another surgery, and he walks in and says, "Hey bro, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Not so hot today, man. I'm in some pretty intense pain." So he was like, just don't focus on it. And I swore, yelled, and called him some names probably. I think I said something along the lines of, well, why don't you take a turn in the bed and I can hop around and be happy, and something like that. And he just kind of like backed off, and he was just kind of like, whoa, bro. He goes, hey, whenever anything really, really big and painful happens to a person in their life, he goes, they will change. He goes, they will change. They will either get bitter or they will get better. He goes, but the choice is up to you. And that just shut me right up. I'm like, all right, he's right. I'm getting bitter, and, I don't want to let this part win. I want to strive. I want to use this to, propel myself into a better life. Life now is pretty satisfying. I've got a great group of friends. I'm still real active with my family members. I finished college. I finished my 2-year degree after getting back. I finished my master's degree from the College of St. Thomas and St. Catherine's. It's funny, people would say to me, they're like, knowing what you know now, would you go back and change anything? And I'd say, no, absolutely not. Like those experiences, the good ones and the bad ones, were so valuable. The perspective that you have moving through those experiences is up to the individual. And I was extremely fortunate to have such a great group of family, a great group of health providers. I take great value in being considered what I would say is a success story, like going through some really intense, horrible stuff and then coming out on the other side better than you were than before the event even happened. When I reflect on my military service, I wouldn't change a thing.
I would like to thank the VFW, the American Legion, the Lions Club, and the City of Woodbury for asking me to present today.
The placard at the Woodbury Memorial, it was pretty gratifying to have that. And my name is amongst so many amazing, heroic people, so it's quite an honor to, be in that kind of company.